So I was 13 years old when I was injured. I had been doing gymnastics since I was a little girl. I was in practice one day just doing a normal routine on the uneven bars, and I fell and I broke my back and injured my spinal cord.
The fall that took away Avery Downing's ability to walk gave her a more important need to compete.
It really helps when you have a disability and you're still able to compete in sports, and when you're able to be around other people with disabilities. It's, I guess, like empowerment.
Avery wanted to have that empowerment after graduating high school and pursuing her goal of becoming a college literature professor. But there was one problem she discovered looking at programs close to her home in Memphis.
Unfortunately, there aren't that many opportunities in Memphis for wheelchair sports. Whenever I started looking for schools to go to, I looked for schools that had an adapted athletics program or schools that were near somewhere that had adapted sports. And that's what led me to Alabama.
An out-of-state university meant bigger expenses Avery says would have been more challenging to see through without the help of the Tennessee Department of Human Services Vocational Rehabilitation Program. VR helps individuals with disabilities with a variety of assistance to further their employment goals, including help with some higher education expenses.
Luckily, I got an academic scholarship, but there's still so many other expenses, and Voc Rehab really helped with. They covered my whole meal plan and my dorm and all my books. So that really helped. So pairing together the scholarship and Voc Rehab just give me the perfect opportunity to be able to go to Alabama.
Once on campus, Avery found opportunities with both Alabama's tennis team and its wheelchair basketball team that recently took home a national title.
The game was an upset. We weren't really favored to win, so it was great.
For Avery, it's all proof a life-altering injury doesn't have to stand in the way of living.
So it's really encouraging and empowering when you find out all of these things that you can still do. I mean, it provides motivation and a drive, I guess.
Right now we're approximately at 60 to 65 beef cattle. It's been in the family since 1866. It's basically all I know.
Jason Barber has never wanted to be anything but a farmer.
It's just a way of life.
But in recent years,
They diagnosed me with the condition of retinitis pigmentosa.
a new challenge has literally made it hard to see the way forward.
My peripherals are still basically intact, but my central vision is slowly decreasing.
Jason's vision is especially a challenge with cattle, where he needs to be able to read these tags to identify his cows to keep track of which ones are making money.
If we've got said cow that's been here for 2 years and not had a calf, we need to move her on and get some fresh livestock in. Whereas if I'm out here with no idea about that cow, then I'm feeding and wasting money on a cow that's not producing.
That's where our vocational rehabilitation program has made a few helpful moves.
73.
Starting with introducing Jason to assistive technology, like this smartphone app that reads his cattle tags for him.
Up till a year and a half ago or so, I was still using the old flip phone. So I'm just now stepping into the age of technology and finding out just how useful it can be for someone in my particular situation.
The next step is special eyeglass technology called an OrCamp. Our program is providing Jason with the device to help read his cattle medication, and we're working on applying it to other farming needs,
Give F tablet 10S.
with the goal that someday Jason will be a sight more independent, even with limited vision.
A lot of the times I would have to ask for someone to come help me, and this gives me a lot of my independence, which is the primary goal here, to not have to rely on other people.
It got me out of the house, more active, doing things that I enjoy doing. Mowing hay, raking hay, helping my dad take care of this farm.
Farming
It's just a way of life.
has been a part of Michael Norrid's life.
Since I was big enough to ride in my daddy's lap on a tractor.
Getting on that tractor was never an obstacle
I was in an ATV accident.
until 6 years ago,
It took my life, more or less.
when an accident cost him the ability to use his legs.
Well, I mean, that was just the end of it. I mean, there was no more walking outside and getting on a tractor and going to work. I mean, it's roll outside, and there's no way to get on a tractor without some kind of assisted equipment.
No way, until Michael learned about this new type of assistive technology
Everything's remote controlled.
that lifts him from his wheelchair to his tractor or his truck.
For me, it worked perfect.
The Tennessee Department of Human Services covered the cost to modify Michael's truck with a lift through its vocational rehabilitation program. And today,
Vocational rehab helped make this possible.
Michael is back in the driver's seat
I can go outside and get in a vehicle and go to town.
of life.
Well, I mean, I went from sitting in the house watching TV and YouTube and stuff with nothing to do to I have all kinds of things to do now. It picks my wheelchair up, takes it with me. I can go anywhere I want to do. I have no limitations now.
I vacuum and then I wash tires and I the interior, which is, you know, all dirty stuff out of the car. I like the feeling that it's done in the right way because I don't want to be told I ain't done right and let me do it again.
Cody Williams has found a fresh start
This spot right here,
in dirty cars.
you know, dirt crumbs.
A car accident left him with a traumatic brain injury
I thought I would just sit around
and an uncertain future.
and just waiting on my check every month.
But Cody wanted something better for himself.
He was so excited about it.
And vocational rehabilitation counselor Corey Schroeder helped him find it
Claire.
in this auto detail class at the Tennessee Rehabilitation Center in Smyrna. The center specializes in providing real-world job skills for people like Cody.
I am so proud of Cody. He is one of my cases that it's one of my best cases ever.
After graduating,
Claire.
Corey connected Cody with St. John's Community Services, an organization that helps match individuals with disabilities with employers.
It was an obvious fit for Cody to come in here with Charlie and his crew.
Dwayne Webb couldn't have been more right.
Failure was an option that I didn't want to have.
Cody doesn't just wash vehicles at Davis Automotive.
We've used him as a motivation
Gotta do the top first.
for work ethic for the rest of our employees.
Because the soap gonna come down.
He sets a clean example of a model employee.
Here's someone that wants to work. He comes in, he's always happy, got a smile on his face, and he truly appreciates being here every day. And we try to reiterate that and show that to our other employees.
Seeing what Cody's been able to accomplish in a very short period of time has been very inspirational.
It is really how vocational rehabilitation needs to work.
It shows that, through the work that we do through St. John's, through Tennessee Voc Rehab, and through the willpower of the human spirit, that anything is possible.
Anything, including a future that sparkles
It's really great to get my own money.
in more ways than one.
I'm engaged. I don't want to buy a ring. I already got some money, but I don't want to get a lot more money, so it'll be a good ring.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of DHS TV. I'm Sky Arnold. Now, as we're all discovering, working during the pandemic is bringing some new rules and requirements. We thought it might be a good idea to go over some best practices for all of us to be following, beginning with what may be the most important. Before going into your building, make sure and put on your mask, covering not just your mouth, but also your nose. You'll need that mask to get on state shuttles and to go through security at buildings. You'll also need it in the elevator, where we now have rules requiring no more than 4 people at a time. Keep that mask on when you walk down the hallway to your desk and when you go to break rooms and bathrooms. Your office is a little different in that whether or not you need to wear a mask depends entirely on the layout. Remember, you need to have at least 6 feet between you and other employees. So, for example, if I'm working out of this cubicle, I do need to wear a mask if someone's sitting in that chair, but I don't if they're sitting across from me. If you work in a desk that faces a high traffic area, you'll also need to wear a mask. And please remember the 6-foot distance rule applies outside as well if you're on a break. We also ask that you wipe down shared workspaces after you're done with them and keep your own desk clean as well. And finally, keep in mind state employees aren't the only ones who need to be wearing a mask. Customers and visitors need to put them on as well when walking inside and moving about the building. That'll do it for this month's edition of DHS TV. As always, if you have any questions or suggestions, please send them to the email at the bottom of your screen. Until next time, I'm Sky Arnold.